What's up, guys? Welcome back to the Rush Sports Podcast. Jason Collins here with you with the same panel, with the same sports, but moving on to college football. So, guys, what did we think about these games? We got Clemson versus Boston College. Boston College gave Clemson a run for their money a little bit. It wasn't as big of a blowout as people thought it was going to be. It was actually a pretty close game, but even though they didn't have Trevor Lawrence, it was still closer than a lot of people thought. What did you guys think about the game? Lucas?
I don't know if it's a testament to Boston College's ability to score or Clemson just not playing well that day, but I would definitely be worried as a Clemson fan going into the Notre Dame game this week, for sure.
Yeah, for sure. Brandon?
Yeah, I'd be worried going into this Notre Dame game as well. But I do think Boston College is a up and coming program. I think they'll be good in the next couple of years because they showed this week that they can hang with Clemson. Granted, Clemson didn't have their home fans to be able to make it a little more lopsided, but I think Boston College got a good coaching staff and they'll be good these next couple of years.
Mike?
Yeah, I think as a Clemson fan, I think you should be worried. One, because I get that Trevor Lawrence wasn't playing. You know, Trevor Lawrence got you a lot of more points, but then again, Trevor Lawrence does not play defense. But at the same time, I do believe that you should be worried coming in for this Notre Dame game. But at the same time, I think they'll be fine. It's Clemson, so
yeah,
not much to worry about that.
For sure. And I think Notre Dame is honestly overrated. I think they get overrated anytime they're within the top 10 just because they don't have a conference. You know, it'd be different if they had one, but they really just piece their schedule together. And yeah, they play some big dogs sometimes, some known teams, some really good teams. But I think they just got, like, if they joined a conference, I would be able to solidify them as a really great perennial team. But this next game is a big upset in the college football world. Number 13 Michigan lost to unranked Michigan State, moving them to 1-1, and Michigan State moves up to 1-1. What did you guys think about that game? Brandon, I'll let you start it off.
I think Michigan came out really flat, and it definitely hurt their chances. Like, they made a bit of a comeback late, but it was just because they started out real slow that they couldn't come back. And Jim Harbaugh's, I think he's a good coach. I think, obviously, we've talked about this before, but if he doesn't beat Ohio State, I think he gets the boot. But if he doesn't get enough wins before then, they might boot him before the game.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, it's not looking good, man. It's not looking good for Jim Harbaugh at all. But, Lucas, what are you thinking?
Yeah, I think they really just underestimated this Michigan State team after they went and lost to Rutgers, who hasn't been relevant for a really long time. But I guess that's 2020 for you. I mean, irrelevant teams are going to be on the come up this year. I mean, look at Arkansas. I'm just saying. Look at Arkansas.
Hey, we will get to them because, I mean, this past game wasn't really the outcome we wanted, but we'll get to them. Mike?
Yeah, Michigan did come out looking pretty sluggish. With Jim, in this Michigan team, I've always expected them to be at the top, but it's just nothing but like let down expectations. You feel me? So, like you said, if he doesn't perform well in these upcoming games, he might even get kicked before the game even starts. Who knows?
Yeah, for sure. All right, man. We got Ohio State, number 3, versus Penn State. And what was the outcome? Not the outcome. What did you guys think about that game? Because it turned out to be closer than most people thought. And there was a couple of huge plays by a Penn State wide receiver. I'm not sure of the name, but the guy made some awesome catches, spectacular catches, and definitely SC top 10. We're going to see those catches for years to come because it's really impressive. But what do you guys think about the games? Mike, I'll let you start.
No, you're good. Ohio State, man, they're a really good team. They're a really good team, and I mean that. When you said those catches that I seen, I can't think of the guy's name, but boy,
yeah,
we're gonna see them on ESPN for a pretty long time. You can't really knock this Penn State team off, as in like you can't really come out of the gate saying like, oh, they're not this good. Which they ain't have like how they were a couple years ago, of course. But Ohio State is a really good team, and they're gonna be on top for a long time, in my opinion.
Oh yeah, Brandon.
I think Penn State is actually pretty good. It's just not having spring training and stuff, and without their crowd is probably one of the best in football. So like, but the Ohio State is always really, really good. I th- I think uh, I think Penn State will still be a top 25 team throughout this year. But Ohio State's definitely a stud.
Lucas.
Yeah, coming into this week, I didn't have Ohio State in my top four just because they hadn't played anybody. But I think they really proved me wrong uh, this week because uh, they handled Penn State pretty well. I mean, the score makes it look closer than it actually was because I mean they were in control of this game pretty much the entire time. So
Yeah, man, for sure. I mean, Ohio State just looked like what they should have. Justin Fields took over, and the defense was decent. I wouldn't say it was great, but they let go of some points that they shouldn't have let go. Um, but I thought Ohio State really showed that you know even though that they did start like a little bit late, they're still here, they're prepared, and they're ready, and I think they're definitely going to be in the playoffs. Um, but now to the game that nobody really wants to talk about, but we got to. Arkansas versus number 8 Texas A&M. Guys, I can't say it's a heartbreaking loss because I feel like we all kind of knew deep down that we might lose, and we kind of knew that Texas A&M might be about it. But I thought we had a good chance. I mean, I think we made it competitive all the way through till about 5 minutes left in the fourth quarter. I thought it was still competitive. I mean, and it was the smallest margin of victory between all the SEC games that night. But Mike, I'll let you start it off. What did you think about that game?
You know, we all feel the same way. As an Arkansas fan, you just want to win. You know what I'm saying? And no matter what, you just want to win. And when I watched the game, there was times where our defense did look a little shaky. But personally, about this loss, I knew we weren't going to win it. I knew we weren't from the get-go. But I think us scoring 31 points on Texas A&M gave us a statement at its own self. I think our record being 2-3, which is negative, of course, I think we're still playing good football, in my opinion. I'm still proud of Arkansas no matter what, but I just knew we weren't going to win this game from the get-go. Our defense did look a little lackluster. There was times where people were just open, and I mean open for days, and which sucks. But at the end of the day, I think I'm still proud of this Arkansas team. We're coming a long way.
Yeah, for sure. Lucas?
yeah, Jalen Catalon getting thrown out in the first quarter, I think is whenever I was like, okay, this is gonna be rough. This is gonna be a rough night for us all. Yeah, Barry Odom, I liked his halftime adjustments. I really did. A lot of people would disagree with me, but he obviously saw that the rushing three wasn't working, and so he decided to rush four in the second half. And I think trying to get pressure into Kellen Mond, but that offensive line for Texas A&M is just really good. I think their most inexperienced guy still started like 15 games or something like that. Like I saw that crazy stat somewhere, and I was like, oh my gosh. So yeah, not surprised we dropped this one. Just sad because it's 9 in a row. We haven't beat them since they got into the SEC. So sad, but at the end of the day, I like the fight that we had.
Yeah, man, I just want to beat them so bad. Like it's like a passion. Like I really want to beat them, and I want to go back to those 2011 days where we used to put the smack down on them, man. But I just don't think we'll. It just didn't happen this year, and I mean, hopefully next year we'll have a better recruiting um, class coming in, and we'll make some noise. Brandon, what do you think?
I am proud of our performance. I think, like Lucas said, Catalan getting kicked out in the first quarter definitely solidified us as not having a chance to win this game. Our defensive scheme was a little different coming out. I think we don't have a great pass rush. We have a good rushing defense. Like but we let them run all over us basically. But their running back is really good, so he was able to get a lot of yards on us, and that's what opened up the passing game is for Kellen Mond is play action, and that's what made guys like really wide open for him. And we just couldn't get any pressure on him. I don't think we had a single sack on the night. So
Yeah, man, tough night for the Razorbacks in terms of defense. They really ripped us apart and showed where our defense was vulnerable without some of our best players. But our offense really shined. I thought our offense played really well. I thought they showed that, this isn't just a defensive team. We can put up points and we can put them up pretty good. And 31 is a pretty high number of points, especially going against SEC teams because they're typically used to be more of a defensive minded, like strong defense, pretty good offense mind in the SEC. But, tough day for Hog fans. It's just, what are you going to do? Hope for the next one. But, guys, we got another segment for you guys. It's called Power 5 Champs with a question mark. So I'm going to say all 5 conferences, and you tell me who you think is going to win that conference. So, get my music queued up. Oh, there it goes. It's bumping again. All right. We're going to go from Lucas to Mike to Brandon. So, Lucas, Pac-12, Big 10, SEC, ACC, Big 12. Who are your champs?
Jeez. Okay. Can we like name a conference and then go around?
Yeah, I got you. All right, Pac-12.
Pac-12. I'm gonna go Oregon.
Big 10.
Ohio State.
All right. SEC.
Alabama.
ACC.
Clemson.
And Big 12.
That's a question mark. Probably Oklahoma State, but Oklahoma could sneak in there if Oklahoma State loses another one.
That's true. And they just lost to Texas too. So,
yeah. So if they drop another game, then I think Oklahoma will have a pretty good chance.
All right.
Listen, I'll be honest. You might have to skip me on this one, man. I'll be sitting here buffering too much thinking. I'll be honest.
All good, man. Brandon, what do you think? Pac-12.
USC.
Ah, nice. All right. Big 10.
Oh, it's Ohio State.
For sure. SEC.
Alabama.
All right. ACC.
Clemson.
And then Big 12. That's the thinker right there, man.
Yeah, I think it's Oklahoma State. I think this is definitely not Oklahoma's year.
Yeah, for sure. Well, mine are Oregon, Ohio State, Bama, or Georgia. I'm not counting Georgia out. ACC is Clemson, and then Big 12, I got Oklahoma, Oklahoma State, or Texas. I just put all of them just because I just did not know. It's really
cop out.
What was that?
I said you're a cop out. Pick one.
Hey man, all right. If I had to pick one, I'm gonna say probably Texas. Honestly, I feel like Texas is gonna shock everybody. I feel like everybody wants it to be Oklahoma, and I feel like right now Oklahoma State is looking really good. But I feel like Texas is gonna turn into Texas football towards the end of the season. But we're gonna take a quick break, and we'll be right back with some more sports content. Don't go away. Welcome back to the Rush Sports Podcast. I'm your host, Jason Collins. Lucas, what'd you do for Halloween, man?
I watched the Hogs lose.
Didn't we all, man? Didn't we all? Brandon, what about you?
Same here. Just sat home and cried.
Mike?
Watch the Hogs lose.
Man, we all just did the same thing. Why not even ask the question, man? Well, guys, Dodgers win the World Series. What does this mean for the city of LA in terms of just how they're made, and of course Kobe and Gigi? Lucas?
I mean, LA's got to be feeling good as a city right now. They got to be feeling on top of the world. I don't think they'll get another championship in the NFL, but I mean, just to get the MLB and the NBA is big time for sure.
Yeah, for sure. Brandon?
Yeah, definitely having 2 championships in the 2 major sports. I think honestly the Chargers could bring an LA championship in the near future for them, but I doubt it.